So in today's video, I want to go over the importance of utilizing two separate mapping sources. Stay tuned, it's coming up. Alrighty y'all, Lou here from Beyond the Bounds. This is a channel geared towards bass fishing and gear reviews. So if you like that sort of thing, click that subscribe button up top. Let's get into today's topic, talking about utilizing multiple mapping resources while running your bass boat. So guys, this is part of my tip series for becoming a boater. Something that I'm learning as I go along. You know, coming from the kayak world over into the boat world has presented its own different set of challenges. Again, you've got to learn how to navigate this boat, this vessel on different bodies of water. In a kayak, it's not that big of a deal. You know, if you run aground, if you hit a stump, it's really not that big of a deal. However, when you're operating a boat, you know, a $60, $70, $80,000 piece of equipment on the water, you don't want to mess it up. And utilizing multiple mapping softwares, chips will definitely help you out. And this is something that I learned recently. And it's something that I wanted to share with you as a potential new boat owner that you need to definitely have. You need to have the most up-to-date lowrance chip or whatever chip that is your fancy. But especially with lowrance, you get the generic maps that come with lowrance, and then you get a map chip. And I want to show you the difference in these two chips and how you can utilize both of them together to make sure that your time spent on the water is nice and safe and productive. So while I go over this, I'm going to show you my two lowrance systems. Now I'm running a Elite 9 and an HDS. The reason I'm running the Elite is solely for maps. However, if I had an HDS or if I wanted to spend the money to get another HDS, I would do that because it's just going to be able to share across them better. I'll be able to share sonar and data to this one, which I can't currently do because it's an Elite 9. Now they are networked utilizing the Navionics system, and from that I can share waypoints across the units and up to the front. However, I can't view sonar on this one, but this is what I had. It's a mistake that I should have done when I was purchasing this one in anticipation of my in anticipation of purchasing my first bass boat. I should have bought an HDS 9 then. However, I didn't know what type of systems I would be getting on my bass boat. It could have been all hummingbirds, and then, an HDS 9 wouldn't have benefited me. So that's why I got the 9 for my kayak. I've enjoyed it, love the system, zero problems with it, it's been great. But I wish, knowing in hindsight, I wish I would have bought an HDS 9. However, couldn't have done that. Let's get into this. So I'm going to take these covers off. This is how I run this covers. I don't want them to get scratched because they look freaking awesome. And I absolutely love them. So if you're looking for custom covers, check out K&K Customs Hydrographics. I'll put the link down in the description below. So let's take these bad guys off. Okay guys, so what I wanted to really show you with this video is a comparison of side-by-side of the lowrance maps and Navionics maps. And I'll take some screenshots and post those up during this kind of demo. But as a new boat owner, you definitely want to be able to protect your boat as much as possible. And if you're going to be going to different bodies of water, then you're going to want to know where you can run and where you can't. Now, first and foremost, most of the time, anytime you're in a channel of sorts, as long as you stay between the channel markers, red on your right is always a good rule. But as long as you stay in those channel markers, you're pretty good, okay? So you can pretty much run at a good speed through those channel markers, a safe speed. But the difference you can see in this area. So we're at Santee Cooper. I just came back from Santee Cooper, had a blast down there, just experimenting, running offshore and stuff, doing different things. And with these two maps, you can truly see the difference in these two areas. Now, this area in particular is an area that is covered in trees. I mean, trees that are just right below the surface and everything. So this is a very unsafe area to run, and is evident, as you can see in the outline of the channel markers, your red and greens right there. And you know, on this side, it's just, I mean, it's not as evident over here. If you drill down into this side, what you'll see is it says tree, hazard, hazard, but it really doesn't tell you that the whole entire area is truly a hazard area, and that you do not want to be running out in this area at full speed or anything, because you could really seriously damage your prop, your lower end unit, and your motor, and pretty much ruin your entire fishing trip. Now you'll see that I actually came through here and skirted this entire edge over here. It was pretty deep water, but I didn't run that entire way at full speed either, because you know, there were some trees in here. There were some big stumps really close to the riprap, and you just have to be careful with that. And that's where utilizing these maps and different mapping softwares together will help you navigate new waters as a new boat owner. So make sure that you do this. Make sure you get a Navionics card or a Hotspots card or something like that. You know, another thing about this lowrance area, you see I put a few stop signs in there. That might be a good area you want to fish. As you'll see as I come over here to this side of the screen, you'll see all of these blue dots. Now, the cool thing about this too is that there are some really cool information that you can gather out of this if you just kind of, you know, click on one of these dots, click info to chart item. It shows you that it's a stump. I want to see if I can find one up here. This is kind of an area known as Angels. It's a really good area to fish. You can see these different types of chart items. Oh, that's one of my waypoints, chart item. Okay, so here's a good example of some of the information that's in this. So I clicked on one of those items right there, and you can see Lake Moultrie, fishing area 23. The wire fence canal holds largemouth bass from winter through the spring spawn. Through January and February, work rattle traps, small shad wraps, other natural minnow style baits, shoreline. Let's take a screenshot capture of this. I'll post it up. But there are all these types of little information about some of the spots that are on here. And so if you're trying to run a new lake, find a new area to fish, this is really going to benefit you. Definitely benefited me when I was out here just trying to look around, trying to find some offshore stuff, because you know, the spawn had been happening. You know, somebody told me the spawn had been happening all the way since January. So I was trying to find some offshore stuff and just have fun while fishing, just experiment on a bigger body of water. Let's come up to the Potomac. Okay, so here you'll see a common area. It's got Goose Island on it, this Fox Ferry Point. What I wanted to show here is the difference between you know, some of the maps as well. So it's chart options, chart source, head over to the Navionics ship that I have in this one. And again, this is where you're gonna see the difference between the two maps, because you're gonna see a lot more detail, especially in the depths on this map right here of this same area. Again, Fox Ferry Point, bunch of underwater hazards right there. This whole area is a hazard area. It's definitely an area you wouldn't want to run at all in this area right there, because you're probably going to hit something, especially when the tide fluctuates up and down. But again, it's not as evident over here in on this map right here. Again, if I were to switch back, chart options, chart source, lowrance, as that comes up, you know, it's just not as clear how much of a hazard area that is right there. And so you would want to be very careful. But again, guys, the point I want to make is that utilize both of these systems, utilize multiple charts. One, to be able to find new fishing spots. Two, to be able to run your boat safely. Maybe I actually said those in the incorrect order. Run your boat safely is always number one. Then, you know, find new fishing spots. So, you know, I hope this is a helpful video for especially new boat owners. Maybe if you're not a new boat owner, maybe you're a tournament angler and you just hadn't thought about this in a while. I know that, you know, I had done this in the past, had other map chips that I would go back and forth between to find launches, to find chart items such as restaurants and fuel, and going between the two can really help you out. So I hope that this is a great video for you guys. As always, please like, comment, share, subscribe. You know, if you have any other tips, go ahead and throw those down in the comment section below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all have a good one.